Hey, what's going on guys? I'm going to try something different here in regards to my video format. So many people are asking me how to use Gala Leif, so I decided it might be better if I focus on explaining how to use them rather than just reviewing his kit. I'm still going to try my best to do both, but the tutorial on how to use them will be the focal point of this video. So we'll start off by talking about his stances. He has two of them. One is called striking stance and the other is shielding stance. Changing these stances will alter a couple things. One of them is his normal attack combos. Once he reaches a combo count of 5, the 6th attack will initiate a new combo, and again, it's different for each stance. Striking stance gives Leif these many rapid quick slashes. It goes up to C3 and it deals a total of 9 hits, so it's a very good stance for increasing his combo count for enabling his flurry strength ability. The end of C3 has a little bit of lag to it, so what I personally do is add a 4 strike at the very end and the combo becomes a lot more fluid. Although initially it is kind of difficult to add 4 strike at the end consistently due to the very last attack animation being very delayed, so it'll take some practice. Also, the C1 on the new combo is a gap closer similar to Dagger C1, so it's a really good tool for maintaining his combo count. You know, some enemies out there like to move around a lot and that can cause some less experienced players to drop their combos. I suggest that if you're going to use Leif, that you memorize and practice anticipating the attack pattern for that said boss and learn how to 4 strike towards the direction that the foe is about to move towards, and then use C1 to close the gap. If you learn how to do that, then maintaining his combo count will be a lot easier, especially since there's a lack of combo extender chains for wind. Now the new combo for shielding stance is really weird. It's 3 hits just like striking, except that his attacks come out extremely slow, but they hit really hard. If you take a look at the attack mods, 548% mods on C3, which is absolutely crazy. I tried him out in MG and he was hitting for like 25,000 to 30,000 per hit, and that's with Vayu equipped, not even a strength dragon. It might be better than striking stance combos according to the mods, but the problem I have with the shielding stance combo is the fact that it comes out so slow. I tried doing Ex.Ciella with shielding stance combos only, and the problem I faced was similar to that of Hunter Berserker and his 4 strikes. These attacks come out so slow to the point where if an enemy starts an attack, sometimes you just can't finish the attack animation and you would just end up having to roll and canceling the attack. So in my opinion, I don't think you should ever use shielding stance combos. Just stick with striking stance, because with striking, Leif is going to be more mobile, he's going to rack up his combo count easier and maintain his combo count with ease as well. I think maybe the only time shielding stance combo should be used is during the break after Leif has used up all his skills and you just want to take advantage of the last few seconds of the break. I mean, if you don't have a problem with the slowness of shielding stance combos, then by all means, use that stance. Do C3 4 strike with shielding as well, but it's just not for me. Basically what I do on Leif is C2 4 strike 2 times to get into striking stance, then I would just do C3 4 strike and only switch to shielding stance to use skills. And since we're on the topic of skills, let's go over each of them. Striking skill 1 costs 3,456 SP, deals about 879% wind damage and inflicts a 5% 20 second defense down that cannot be stacked. The mod's to SP cost ratio is about average. It's not the best, but it's not terrible either when you take into account the long 20 second 5% defense down. The defense down is quite important because of one of his abilities and his co-ability. His debuff skill time ability extends the duration of bleeding and debuff skills by 20%, then his co-ability increases damage to enemies with reduced strength or defense by 8%. It says or, so of course if you had the option to choose which debuff to apply, Leif should always apply defense down for more damage. Striking skill 2 costs 8,640 SP, deals up to 1,826% wind damage if the foe is poisoned, and applies a 5% 20 second defense down. Now skill 2 does cost a lot, so that kind of makes the 1,826% damage mods look a little worse, but it's a decent skill 2. Even so, I don't recommend using it too much because shielding skill 2 is much better, and I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I think the only time I would use striking skill 2 is if I was in a situation where I can't reach to hit the enemy in time to maintain combo. That's when I might consider doing like a roll canceling striking skill 2 because it is a projectile after all. Now let's talk about shielding skills. All the SP costs are the same by the way. Shielding skill 1 is a 60% 15 second self defense buff. Now listen here, on paper it does sound pretty good to cycle between striking skill 1 and shielding skill 1 because first of all, the defense buff lasts for 24 seconds and the defense buff doesn't stack, so using striking skill 1 a second time in a row wouldn't give you anything but damage, right? Leif also has strength double buff as a chain-co ability, so there is some incentive to using shielding skill 1, especially if he's using something like Valiant Crown. However, the biggest issue that I have with shielding skill 1 is that it drops combos so easily. For every 3 times that I activate it, maybe I drop combo like 2 out of the 3 times. I'm telling you, it's so inconsistent to the point that I don't think it's worth using at all. However, shielding skill 2 is a different story. This is one of the coolest skills in the game by far in my opinion, but basically this move has 3 hits to it, and the second hit homes in towards the foe, and Leif will actually redirect himself if needed. The animation for the whole thing is relatively long, but this skill does deal tons of damage. It deals about 2800% wind damage, assuming that the foe is afflicted with a defense debuff. It deals about 1000% more damage than striking skill 2, so I think it's pretty obvious that you want to use shielding skill 2 instead of striking. Plus it inflicts poison, so that's going to be really useful for assisting with maintaining poison uptime. Now let me just sum up on how to use Leif. Actually, let me rephrase that. This is how I use Leif. I don't know if it's optimal, but it's been performing pretty good so far. First things first, get a combo count of 5 right away to initiate striking stance combos. Then do C3 4 strike continuously and just spam striking skill 1 whenever it's up. Whenever skill 2 is up, you want to swap stances to shielding and use shielding skill 2. Make sure that you have applied a defense debuff before using shielding skill 2 in order to get the bonus damage. Then afterwards, you pretty much just switch back to striking stance again to build meter. That's basically how you use Leif in a nutshell. The way I use them, I never use shield combos, never use striking skill 2, and never use shielding skill 1. If you cut those 3 things out, it actually makes Leif's kit a lot easier to handle and to understand. You just gotta practice on consistently doing C3 4 strike during striking stance, because I feel like the 4 strikes at the end is a pretty big deal for maintaining combo count, especially versus mobile targets such as Ciella. So yeah, overall Leif is pretty strong. If you don't count buffer units as DPS, then Leif should be right behind Hawk, which makes him number 2 in win DPS. He's a little bit hard to play at first, especially since he has a flurry ability, and maintaining combo count can be difficult for some players. It's gonna be a lot easier once Win gets a combo extender chain co-ab, but I personally don't think he needs it. If you learn how to use this gap closing C1 effectively, then maintaining combo count should be fairly easy. He's lots of fun to use, definitely would recommend pulling if you are in need of a win DPS, but he's not for everybody if I'm being honest. He requires a lot of actions to be taken because, you know, striking stance combos are pretty quick, so you're going to be constantly C3 4 striking, switching between stances, and trying to maintain combo count. I think that he requires a little bit more effort compared to the normal sword character, and that could possibly turn some players off. Personally, I think he's tons of fun, and definitely one of my favorite characters to use. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about Leif in the comments down below. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
絶望的な現実からドラゴンの力扱って
リバーサルスラストの一撃を受けよ
覆してやるわ。
スワロービームとどめを刺す
ガビ臭いスマーを一掃してあげる。
リバーサルスラストスワロービーム
の救済に未来はない。
行くぞカットこの命尽きるまで我が忠義を貫く